So I'm super excited. My name is Carrie Thomas Amaro. Thank you for coming to Looks Matter, Brand Aesthetics and Consistency for Business. This was our title sponsors are Amazon and all those amazing people. Great logos. And now to the fun part. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about aesthetics and understanding how aesthetics actually matter and why do they matter in terms of emotions. So I like agendas. Why? Because it keeps me honest. I like to make sure that I'm staying on track and things like that. So we have agenda. You get to meet me. We're going to talk about understanding your decision lenses, creating heart alignment, and we'll do some group activity, aka mandatory fun. So welcome. All right. So my name is Carrie Thomas Amaro. People call me, and I've been coined the visibility alchemist. I turn visibility and amazing things into good and great visibility strategies. I'm the founder of Solasa Digital, which is a bespoke visibility firm focused on creating visibility and audience growth. One of my main passions is really seeing people step into their light and step into their power by truly being exactly who they are. So I have to tell you a story. Like, look at me. I was gorgeous. Like, look at the brows. Let's take a moment. Okay, so I was adopted. I was adopted at 6 months, but I didn't know I was adopted until I was 6. So I was like hanging out with my cousins. We were all hanging out, and my brother, he's like 4 years older than me. He's like, Kira, you're not my real sister anyway. And I'm like, so I like run downstairs. I'm like, Mommy, Daddy, Bam said I'm not his real sister anyway. And like my mom and dad, like they're older, so they have like this roll top desk, and they go walking over, and I'm like, oh man. And at that moment for me, I felt like I lost my identity. I felt like I didn't know exactly like where I was supposed to be. So from there, I went to this place of really being like a performer. I went to trying to understand like how can I make people like me? How can I make people like want to have me around? Literally, I spent my whole life, I have a whole degree in psychology of understanding humans and how they think. I'm like, you are going to love me. So if y'all all love me, I won. But what ended up happening is I had this internal discord of the person that I knew that I wanted to be inside and the person that everybody thought that I should be. And I was going through these cycles of like self sabotage, and I was like, I can't keep living this life. I need to do something different. And really, what happened is I got amazing friends, and they truly showed me, like, hey, Carrie, like, you're pretty amazing. I'm like, I am? You really think so? And like, I really was able to step into my purpose. And the moment that I did that, I was able to truly be able to show people how to shine their light when they actually show up authentically. And this is a lot to do with what we're going to be talking about today. When you actually show up as yourself, you actually are able to bring in the right natural ideal clients to you. So now I get to share my message and about understanding humans and understanding Raven fans and understanding how brand psychology and visuals all tie in together. So that's my brother. We like him now, but that's him. So if you ever go to Spain, Rhoda, he's there. If you want to like slap him, it's okay. He knows. Uh, but this is my dad. My dad passed away in March of 2019, and he's actually the reason why I'm actually standing in front of you guys today. So at his funeral, there were so many people that were coming up and they were like, hey, had a conversation with Sergeant Major, had a conversation with Paul, and literally like he asked me this question and it changed my life. And I was like, I knew my dad was amazing, but I didn't realize all these other people thought he was amazing. And for me, I was like, what if my dad had somebody that saw his vision? What if my dad had someone that really was helped him amplify his voice? How much more people could he have affected? And I think for me, that was my moment where I was like, that's the people that I want to help. I want to help people that have this idea of an impact they want to put out into the world, and they want to figure out how can I spread it. All right, so before we get started, there's couple things I want to get in mind for you guys. One, you have to get out of your own way when it comes to business, especially when you're a founder. Make sure you get out of your own way because a lot of times we think we're really amazing, and sometimes we are, but sometimes we might not be. So you have to get out of our own way and realize that like we have to understand all different facets of what we're doing. The next one is all about taking action. It's all about being better than you were yesterday. And then you have to give yourself grace. A lot of times as humans, we're very hard on ourselves and we're like, oh man, I didn't do it. But the thing is like, you probably are doing way more than the majority of the world are doing. So like give yourself grace and know that like you're pretty amazing. Especially if you're here because you made like an amazing choice to hang out with me. All right. So for me, that's when I really realized that like that spark caught fire. So who's ready to get into it? Everybody ready? Okay,
I got a
great.
quick question.
Yes.
And hello, everyone. As a heads up, if you have a question, you do need to get on the mic. So if you don't want to see me running around everywhere, please head up there. If you want me to run to you, I will. Just give me a second. And we're talking about business
Yes.
and business branding. Can we use this for finding out about our own personal brand?
Yes. So a lot of this is all about your personal brand and your business brand. What narratives do you want to tell? What emotions do you truly want to evoke? And being able to understand that actually is going to help you align with who your natural ideal clients are that are actually waiting for that. But a lot of times we get so caught up in the features and the products and things like that rather than understanding the true impact that we're trying to put out into the world.
Thank you.
Of course. So, great cue up. So, the two most important questions that you want to ask yourself in business, and I always like to say in life, is question number one: what is the true impact that you want to make? And what I mean by this question is this is not the selfish question of like, I want to make $1 million or I want to work with 10 businesses to help them do this. Like, what is that unselfish reason of why you want to make the impact? For us is we want to inspire and motivate people to see what's possible when they step into their power and step into their light. Whatever happens after that, that's amazing. I created a ripple, but it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the impact that I'm making for other people. And number two is who are the people that you truly want to serve. So a lot of times when we think about our audience, we're thinking about their demographics. They're like, oh, they do this, or oh, they have this amount of money. But the thing is, a lot of times, especially now post COVID, you need to understand who they are as humans. What are their motivators? What drives them into action? What lens do they look out of when it comes to making decisions? This is really, really important. And why? It's because it lays the foundation of everything that you do. When you answer your questions, those big two, you ask yourself, like, is this product right for me? Is this product actually going to lead me down the path that I want to create? And two, it keeps you honest. So a lot of times when you're on this thing, you have this shiny object and you're like, oh, this is going to be really fun to do over here. But you realize if it's not attached to the impact I want to make it to people I want to serve, it's not truly in line with your business. So you want to make sure that you always focus on this big two, and it just keeps you focused on your mission. Does anybody have any questions? Perfect.
You know I do. Oh.
My big two? Oh.
As a heads up, we're doing it for the recording. That's why we're turning up the mics, not because we can't hear you.
Yeah. So my big two, my number one is I want to help impact-driven entrepreneurs that just show them how to step into their light and show them what's possible. The people that I want to serve, they are people who have these big missions, but they never felt comfortable being able to put themselves out there because the marketing agencies and the coaches have told them, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. And they don't feel right. So a lot of times what my clients will do is they'll go hide in a corner or hang out in their circles, in their lanes, until somebody gives them permission, aka me, and says, hey, you can shine exactly who you are as long as you double down on yourself. So those are my big two. Of course. All right, so understanding humans, literally what my whole degree is on. But we have issues with humans, two major issues. One is humans are ever changing beings. The person that you were a year ago is probably very different from the person that you are now. Some people, the person you were 2 weeks ago is very different from the person you are now because there's always these different breakthroughs and things that happen that shift the way you think about things. And the second one is that we're extremely complex beings. There's so many neurons and things that are happening in our head each and every day that is shifting the way we look and see things. I like to say that humans are made of the choices, experiences, and decisions they make through their life. So a lot of people always ask me, well, Carrie, if that is the case, how can I understand who my audience is? Well, innate motivators. So as humans, we have one innate motivator that actually pushes us into action. I like to say that we have four. And with those innate motivators, you're able to understand what lens that you're going to look at when it comes to making a decision. We're actually going to get into it in a second. All right, at Salasa, we call these motivators brand souls. So I'm going to go through, hey girl. We're going to go through the brand souls, and then we're going to actually learn what your brand soul is. It's going to be like Cosmo quiz. It's going to be amazing. We're going to tally our things up. It's going to be cute. All right, so the architect. So the architect, these are people that literally say, I am going to design a new way of life and new way of being. They're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I see the vision and I see exactly where I'm going to go. A lot of times, these people are motivated by being able to look at things from that 30,000-foot view. There are also people that they are truly, they're great consultants. They're great people because they can come in and they can spot the problem very, very quickly. Some popular motivators, architects are going to be, of course, Elon Musk, Apple, Beyonce, Campbell's, old Princess Diana. I wonder what she would be thinking right now. She's probably rolling. Conductors. So the conductors are really cool because I like to call these people the belief breathers. These are the people that will come into your world and you just get so excited because you're like, I feel like I can do anything. I don't know why, but I feel like they just have like told me something. I'm like, I can do this. Like I can jump off a mountain and I won't die. But like they said I can do it, so I'm gonna go do it. These people also are natural born leaders. Like conductors are people that people gravitate towards them because they are able to kind of see this idea and they're like, I love it. Daenerys. How many people followed her? Literally, she had like 1,000 names. They were like, everybody followed her. How many musicians, movie directors have said, I am the movie director because of him? All the monsters, all the Lady Gaga monsters in the world is because of that. All right, curators. So curators, I like to call these people are the mood changers. These are people that literally are like, how can I create an experience and an environment that's going to foster memories and moments? These people are motivated by really truly like creating these experiences and they're always looking at the optics. They're like, what are the optics like? What are these moments that I can create? What are the sounds? What are the scents? What are the environments I can create to make people truly feel special? Great example, Jimmy Fallon, like he literally, like he has all these friends that come to his show because he creates this environment for people to feel comfortable having these amazing conversations. Seekers. So seekers, I like to say seekers are people that are truly the compass of your journey of understanding. These are the people that you'll go to and you're like, I don't know why I'm coming to them, but I'm coming to them because I can't figure out how to get to next place. I can't figure out how to think bigger than what I'm thinking about. And they'll come in, they'll ask you these questions, they bring out their toolboxes and their conversations, and you're like, they just changed my life. My dad was a seeker. He would ask these really deep, pointed questions, and you'll be like, oh, didn't think about it that way. They always expand your thought process. So you have Thor, you have Bill Gates, CNN, Dove, North Face. All right, who's ready? Okay. This is my picture when I turned 32. I was like, ah. All right, so first question. What primarily drives you? This is your unselfish answer. So I want you to go with your gut. 1, creating and structuring something new and different to inspire and motivate, to create powerful and memorable experiences, to guide and counsel and be a compass for others. A, B, C, or D. Everybody got their number? Ding, ding, ding. All right, ready? Okay. Question numero 2. What's your biggest fear? Entrapment, being stuck, having doubt, rejection, having copycats, the sea of the sameness. Go with your gut now.
You know I have questions while everybody's thinking. So, if we need to share this with our friends, because this is legitly really dope, can people take it on your website or something?
Yes, so I have if you go to mybrandsoulquiz.com, it'll take you directly to this quiz. mybrandsoulquiz.com.
I'm going to say that one more. My brand soul quiz. Okay. I was like, I don't know why I'm mushing all of my words together. So thank you. I figured you did. You always think of everything.
Yes. Yeah, just keep track of 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll in a second we're gonna grade it. It's gonna be like the Cosmo quiz. You remember like you would do it, but this time you can't cheat because in the Cosmo quiz you would cheat. Be like, I want to be this person, so let me go back. All right, next question. What quote best describes you? Life can truly be limitless. I see the magic in you. It's all about the experiences and intimate details that create experiences. I'm a big picture thinker. Go with your gut now, guys. I know y'all are really smart. So, really smart people like to test themselves out of this stuff because they like to think deeply. You guys ready? Next. Okay, what motivates you? Go with your gut again, guys. Guiding others, inspiring others, creating memorable moments, being different. He was like, I have no idea. Like this is so stressful. He's like, I'm so stressed out. It's like SATs all over again. All right, next question. What is the impact that you want to make? I want to create moments of experience that last the test of time. I want to ask big questions for people to think bigger and broader. I want to inspire, I want to push, inspire, and motivate people into light, into their action, and I want to do the unthinkable and create new normals. Y'all are thinking deeply. Like I see it all in the eyes. Like it's like thought processes. All right. Are you guys ready? All right, grading time. Here it goes. Time to use those math skills. All right. See, I made it easy. So, you picked one, the first one, right one. Everybody got their number? Hands up. Perfection. All right, next. I can't be that person. You'll know which one to pick. Everybody got their number? Okay. Ha, same. I was when I looked at this, I was like, oh, we probably need to change the questions. Ready? I'm about to switch it up on you guys. In action. All right, do we add up our, like, no, let's add up all our scores. Let's use those good math skills. Okay, so this is for the people in the back. He's like, why are you looking at me?
Can y'all see in the back? Because I would highly, highly suggest coming up in the crowd and make new friends. But
I'm going to go up and then I'm going to go back. Does everybody have 3? Okay. And I know you need it too. So you were like, I don't need to do this. Everybody had 1? Right. And 5. Of course. I love it. I love this. This is everything I hoped it would be. I promise you. I was like, they're gonna be doing their math. It's gonna be amazing. They're like round 1. All right. Does everybody have your numbers? Okay. You're like, wait, I need 5. Are we ready? Okay. The results are in. Ding ding ding. So literally, like I do photo shoots like every quarter. So literally, I gotta get all the shots out for you guys. Like you gotta get all the pics. Okay. All right. So anybody 0 through 5? They got a 0 through 5. No? No architects? No? It's just me. Six, 6 through 10. I can see you as a conductor. That I can feel the vibe. Curators? I love my curators, my little baby seekers. Okay, guess what we're about to do? Everybody move to your sections. Okay. All right, so I want for the first 2 rows, we're going to do architects over here, and there's none, so I'll sit over there probably. It's just me. Um, Conductors, gonna go right here, these first 2 rows. Then we're gonna do curators and seekers. He's like, yes, yes. You can't, you're trying to trick the system, see? All my curator babies. Architects, conductors, seekers, curators. There's no architect, so like it's just me. You're a seeker? Right back there. Yeah. Seekers are really amazing. My dad was a seeker. He literally changed lives. Oh my god. See, see, this is a prime example of a curator. This is a prime example of a curator. They're like, I need to create the environment and the vibe. Okay, so everybody doesn't have to look together yet, but so like y'all can like my curators right here, y'all can kind of face to the front a little bit. We're gonna do activities, but I want y'all to be around each other so y'all can vibe, cause y'all are new family members. There's always the curators run the world. I tell you, they run the world. Clearly, I'm gonna explain it. So I'm an architect, my little lone self in the corner, all over here. The cool thing about architects, I always say that architects, there's not a lot of them because like everybody thinks we're really weird, um, because we're like Elon, we're going to Mars. How? Don't know. Me, I'm like I'm gonna create a whole new quiz of changing how people look at lenses. Really weird. So this is why there's not a lot of us. But I always hope that there'll be a couple of us in the corner hanging out and like think of big ideas. But it's okay. It's just me. All right. So we are going to do a mandatory fun activity, so everybody's in their section, so I love this. But I do want to start talking about actually like why you guys really, really came here was like the branding and the aesthetics and all the things. So every one of these brand souls have one thing in common: human connections. So I like this belief that human connections are really about tapping into the subconscious mind and it leads to the desire on the conscious level. So 91% of decisions are made subconsciously. So if you're able to tap into somebody and how they think, how they understand, how they feel, when it's ready for them to make a logical, conscious decision, the answer is yes. So it's important to understand the lenses that people look out of. Architect is going to look very different out of the lens than a curator. I mean, a curator, a seeker, and a conductor. So subconscious connections or subconscious equals heart alignment. This is my favorite quote. I made it myself. Branding is a tool for the heart, and when you can touch someone's heart, opportunities become limitless. So, how do you touch somebody's heart? How do you create heart alignment? Well, I have 4 ways. One, creating a rally cry. Like, what is that power statement that shakes your clients to the core? Like, what is that thing that truly solidifies your expanded vision, or what we call your little manifesto? So this is our manifesto. I pulled a couple of statements out. One is like we create disruption in the market. We understand that humans are intrinsic beings and should never be put in a box to simplify their thinking. To make a true connection, you have to understand your clients at a human level. What sparks their passion, the movies that they shed tears at, the last stop before they close their eyes to go to sleep. That's in our manifesto. People are like, ooh, I feel that. Like it touches me. Why? Because that's where our rally cries come from. Next, please, color energy. So, what is the story that you want to tell, and how do you want people to feel? A lot of times when it comes to color, color has energy. So you want to make sure the colors that you choose gives the right impression and the right narrative and story when you're putting it together. A lot of times, like we see in the startup space, a lot of people use black and white. Guess what? Now you're in a circle of sameness. That's not fun. You want to add some things that really going to resonate with your clients. Typography. Are you doing a mix between serifs, sans serifs, and display fonts that are actually going to create an emotion and a story? That's kind of have them like, ooh, that might be important. Ooh, I like that over there. Photos, imagery, venue shots, flat lays, lifestyle images. What are these images that you're using to actually create to tell the story to make sure that that aesthetic and that consistency and those tethers are there? Now you see why I did all this other stuff. Now it all makes sense. See, it's coming together. It's all about building blocks. At work shots. Positioning shots. These are the shots that you want to make sure that you have in your arsenal that you're using to keep telling that narrative and telling that story. So when people are coming into your world, they're getting it and you're not having to talk because your brand is speaking for you. Powerful headshots. It's so funny story. This is my friend down here. This is my friend. Her name's Portia. But I literally had this picture for like 3 years. And then I was literally like looking. I was like, Portia, is that you? I found you on Pinterest. She was like, I was on Pinterest. I'm like, yes, girl, you're on Pinterest. I have it all in my brain, guys. Hobbies. You want to make sure you show your hobbies because guess what? That is going to create those tethers and touch points for your clients to feel like she sees me, she understands me, she knows that that's my story too. Curators, pay attention. This is all you guys. Promotional images. Do they evoke emotion? So these are some of our client work that we did, but each one of these have a distinct feeling and they evoke a distinct emotion. This is what colors, fonts, imagery does. Are you creating the content that's actually going to speak to your clients? Are you creating these tethers back to back to back that they're having these touch points to move them into action? Now, people say that it takes 9 to 14 touch points for people to take action. But the issue with social media is people only go to your social media when they need something because a lot of times you're only creating one type of content. So if you're only creating promotional content or strategic content, people are only going when they need that. When you're able to do a round or what we call the humanistic content strategy, you're able to hit on these different facets. So I'll explain this to you guys. You're like, what is this? Is this new? So, strategic content. This is a content where you get to share how smart you are. This is where you get to share about the frameworks and the process and why you actually built this software. The next part is going to be resourceful content. This is content that's created to give somebody micro quick wins that's going to push them into action. The next one is what I call all things you. This is where you get to share about yourself, but this is not where you're sharing your lunch and your dinner. This is where you're sharing what shifts did you have to make, what blocks did you have when you came into when you were a founder. This is what people want to know because guess what? This is what's going to create these tethers that are going to bring people into your world. The next one, client experience. This one is where you share your promotional assets, your testimonials, but this also is where you share who are your clients. A lot of times we think that our clients know that they're for us, but a lot of times they don't know unless you say, hey, you're my client. I feel like we could be amazing together. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that. I should work with Carrie. So we have a thing on our social media that we use sometimes is we're meant to work together. Here's why. And when people see that, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know I was your client, Carrie. I would have been work with you." And I'm like, "Now you can come hang out." And then the next one, which is I always say is very important to me, is heart content. This is the content that really is the impact. That number one question: why do you do this? Why is this so important to you? Why is this your rally kind of flag that you're putting into the ground? So this is just a little content strategy. We'll talk about it. And do you create a home? And what I mean by home is do you create offers and products and services that actually speak to them and their needs and not always what just feels really cool to you? When we built our first business, when I started the business in 2019, I was like, I'm gonna build all these social media assets. They're gonna love it. This is literally what everybody needs in their life. And nobody bought anything. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, everybody needs this. And literally, people came to me like, Carrie, like, can you do done for you work? And I'm like, we can, but like, don't you want these amazing templates that I just made? Like, aren't they amazing? And they're like, yeah, they're great, but can you do done for you? But it was because I never really looked and asked the questions and understood what their needs were for the people that I was serving. And the moment that I realized that, in 5 months, we scaled to six figures.
Can we get like a clap for that? Because that's like really awesome.
Thank you. So these are some of our clients, and so this is Renee. Renee is amazing. She's a sales coach, and she has a very vibrant energy. But the issue that she was having is her brand like was horrible. It was so bad. So literally, what she would have to do is like she would have to talk all the time. She was doing lives every day. She was all in her stories every day because her brand wasn't creating the message. So what we did, we were like, her people are people who are a little bit scared of sales. They're not ready to put themselves out there, but they're like, how can we be able to make people feel comfortable, but also not hide her personality? So what we did is we still gave her the vibrant colors, but created an expansive space where the people felt comfortable coming into her area and knowing that it wasn't going to be overwhelming for them. All right. And then what product services, like you have to, a lot of times, you have to create a priority list of what you want to start with by understanding who are what are those true needs that they have. Okay. Are you guys ready? Mandatory fun time. Okay. I did this morning and I was dying. Okay, the scenario. The client. A dog obsessed single. A dog obsessed single female entrepreneur between the ages of 30 and 40. You had to create a product that would appeal to her. Keep it simple. And how would you connect with her and bring her into your world? The catch is you have 7 minutes. I'll give you 10. 10 minutes. And we'll put a thing. Do you have your phone?
Yes,
Can you put a 10-minute timer on?
I got you.
Okay.
And in case
And I'm gonna come
anybody-
around too.
Yeah, in case anybody's curious, I'm just her hype person, so I'm just in the background lurking.
But I'll come around. I'm super excited. My conductors are like, oh crap. This is gonna be good. You guys got this. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right, ready? Action.
All right, y'all. As a heads up, 5 minutes left. You got 5 minutes. You'll get a 3 minute and a 1 minute countdown too. 3 minutes. By a raise of hands, anybody done yet? You're adding now. Okay, I like that. I like that. All right. So 2.5 minutes now.
But it's funny, conductors is very much are the same in terms of how they look at they look at processes.
I think I'm gonna trade you mics though, because that one has a hard time like moving his little too. So that one's gonna be. 1 minute left of mandatory playtime. So keep adding if you're done. 1 minute left.
Two. How many seconds do we have? Do 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 do. Are we timed out?
All done.
Okay. How did it go, guys? Did y'all have fun? Okay, perfect. So this is Winston, Sir Winston. He's Sir Winston Takes Denver on Instagram. I got Winston Easter of this year when I moved here from Atlanta, and I had this idea that I was gonna get this most amazing dog that was like obsessed with me, and I got Winston. And if you see, he's like, "Mom, I'm over this. Like, can we be done? Like, content over." But he's very much a cat dog, but I love him to death. And I'm ready to hear your guys' things. So I'm gonna start with. Look at that, just like me, seekers.
All right, and as a reminder, if y'all are, when you share about your human, try to get the mic because we need it for the recording.
Testing, testing. Okay.
1, 2.
So our idea was matching apparel. So
Okay.
doing something like matching sweaters or accessories like a bandana or the collar, and then like having a matching belt, stuff like that, along with encouraging them to, like, once they buy the items, like, okay, post this on social media. If you get the most likes or votes or whatever, then we'll help you do a campaign and you'll be in the next one. You get the doggy package, you get all the photo shoots and whatnot, and stuff like that.
Okay. So how are you gonna bring her into your world?
How are we going to bring her into our world? By approaching like where these people frequent, places like dog parks, doggy daycares, Halloween costumes places. Where else? Farmers markets. Like wherever people that love dogs are going to be.
Like, I am slipping because I don't go to any of those things.
Oh.
Because I'm an entrepreneur, so literally, like, Winston does his like sunbathing
True.
time, like.
Dated. Oh. Also, like having advertising, like, because when you're swiping on like Tinder or Bumble, then sometimes they have those ads like, oh, you're looking for love, but do you love your dog?
Oh, I like that. And I'm like, of course, Wincy. Okay, I like that. I love that. Okay. I do love it. But we're about to explain it because there's something missing. Y'all probably feel like something's missing, right? Okay, so. Oh, I like seasonal. Like, he could have like a cute little like Christmas. Like, he could be doggy on the shelf.
So you said like a quarterly bark box type thing with costumes. Oh, in partnership with them. Okay. Just repeating for I love watching the recording, so I'm probably a little hyper vigilant about making sure we have it on the recording so I can hear it later.
I do like that because I've been thinking about Winston's Christmas and Halloween attire. Like, it's so yes, I like that. I know, but see, like, y'all are always so fast paced, so I'm trying to get y'all to slow down. Curators.
All right, hold on. Who's gonna be your person?
Who's the spokesperson?
All right.
She was saying some good stuff over there. I was like, ooh. I was like, me and Wincy are gonna be popping.
Yeah, so we started with trying to understand who this fantastic entrepreneur is, right? Like an entrepreneur, single, it means you don't have a lot of time to waste.
I don't.
And so we thought about bringing an app that basically aggregates a lot of these great services and experiences that are targeted towards her and her dog. So whether it's a service that will come to your home and cough to your dog and take like a photo shoot with the dog together. So now you've got these cute memories. Now you can put them on your social media posts. Or whether there's like a really cool like dog park agility like ninja warrior thing in your neighborhood that's putting on events, like you know where they are. You can go into this one-stop app to show you all the cool places you can enjoy with your dog, all the services that are catered toward you and your dog. So boom, you schedule it, it's gonna happen, and then we're gonna connect. Again, you don't have a lot of time, so we're going to try to get those ads in front of you on the platforms you already use. So whether it's Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, wherever that entrepreneur is in those little downtime moments, right? We all have that little cheat moment where we scroll. We're going to be there.
I like that a lot, actually. Like that was speaking to me. I was like Umi and Wincy on the porch because he likes to do his sunbathing on the porch and stuff. That's actually probably where he is right now. All right, conductors. Okay, you want me to do me? Okay. I'm the only one. So as an architect, probably what I would do is like, we're going to build an app. It's going to be amazing. Somebody will figure out what it's going to do. All right, conductors, what you got?
And just, I took the quiz afterwards because I was really hoping I'd be an architect as well. Yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm a conductor, so damn it. I wanted to be like, by myself and all cool. All right, who's talking?
You got the notes. I'll do the part I know. I'll start us off. All right.
You see this conductor lifestyle right here? They're like, who's talking? We both can talk. So I'll do it.
All right. So, as a dog-obsessed single entrepreneur, it's true. Like, you're working all the time, and your priorities are that you got to focus on your business. But as we all know, like, life is about priorities. And an entrepreneur, if you're focusing all the time and you don't give yourself a chance to enjoy life, you're going to burn out. So that's what this does. Noticing that how much you love your dog and that you're happy with your dog, and clearly your dog has a little bit of a different personality than you. We're like, well, we need to socialize. You got to get out there to the world, right? So what we created is the Bark Crawl. So the Bark Crawl.
I love it.
It's a service platform app. Call it what you want, but what it is it's a service that allows you to go places and connect with other like-minded dog-obsessed people. Now, that's not all it is, because once you get into that environment, we're not just going to put you there on your own. We're creating an environment that actually facilitates you to meet like-minded people and enjoy yourself, not just stand in the corner, which is where I'm going to pass it off to Bobby.
This makes me.
So-
This lights
oh
me
boy.
up. This is so good.
I'll come over here. So to get yourself in there and figure out what other people are there for and all about, we're going to have you wear your dog's name on a name tag on your shirt. But that's not all. You're also going to have a little dog emoji next to the name of your dog that shows your dog's emotions. And what your dog likes to do, is it interactive? Is it playful? Does it get a little aggressive sometimes? Or is it shy? All those good things. So yeah, it's like a dating profile, but it's a dating service for your dog. That's it.
I gotta find his profile picture now. I'll come to you guys for his profile picture. Okay, so I love this so much, and I want to kind of hit on a couple things. So we're gonna mess with the conductors. Did you see how hyped they were? That you're like, yes, 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 sign me up, yes, yes. That is that belief breather mentality that they have naturally. And then when you looked at the curators, like you saw how they were focused on those small moments of like, hey, they'll come to your house and they'll do this stuff. And you're like, yes, yes, they'll come to my house. And then like you guys, like y'all were going deeper and like y'all were thinking about like the deep stuff. Like that is what makes you guys special. But what if like we put it all together? Like what if all of y'all guys came together? Like it could be magical. So let's get into it.
Really quick, before I'm going to rudely interrupt.
Yes.
I actually can see now how being a conductor, because I was just like, sign me up, I'll be your hype person. Like, let's go. Like, let's do this. So after meeting you all and seeing conductors go, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I see it now.
So as the architect that I am, I made a whole chart. So we're gonna first talk about the seekers and the conductors. You guys together. So both of y'all look at things the same way, but y'all look at it at a different lens. Y'all are looking at what is the actionable steps needed to hit this goal. Conductors are looking at it at a very high level. What are the bullet point steps? How can I check off things as fast as possible so I can move on to the next piece? You're like, yep, that's me, yep, uh-huh. The amazing part about that is that you do that. But the thing is, as conductors, y'all are pushers. Y'all are pushing people like, let's go, let's go. I will literally drag you across this finish line. Now, the cool part about that is that's really amazing, but everybody's not like you. So a lot of times what you guys are going to have to think about, especially for the seekers and the curators, is you're going to have to slow down sometimes. You're going to have to ask yourself, like, how can I understand how the curators think about things so I can make sure that I'm not overwhelming them with my actions and my personality? How can I create these spaces where they feel comfortable, but I can still be myself? You're like, oh yeah, I see it, yeah. All right, so seekers. So I have a lot of clients that are seekers. So seekers, y'all are like, I have all the resources. Like you're like Wikipedia who? Like I am Wikipedia. Y'all literally come with a toolbox. Y'all are like, how can I give you the resources, spaces, and environments for y'all to ask any questions that y'all need to ask in life? I got you. Now, with that, y'all are gonna be very analytical thinkers. Y'all literally are gonna be people that are gonna go deep. You're gonna like, I'm gonna dive all the way in, rabbit hole me for life. Now, what's going to be really important is for you to find conductors because conductors are going to be people for you that are going to pull you out. They're going to pull you out and say, hey, I love that you go deep, but we don't have to go all deep on this. We can just do a little deep, maybe like 4 feet, not like that 12, 15. All right.
We're not burying any bodies, so we don't need to go 6 feet deep.
Does seekers and conductors have any questions? You're like, oh man, this is. I saw a hand. Did a hand go up? No, okay. Okay. Architects and curators. So, curators, these are people that literally am like, I'm going to build a whole new thing. I'm going to change the way people look at branding. Don't know how I'm going to do it, but guess what? It's going to happen. We're going to change it. Hopefully, you guys are now looking at branding and business a lot different than when you walked in the door. That is my thing. I want to change things. I want to make things completely different. Our issue, though, we have issues too, is we are very futuristic thinking. So a lot of times we miss all the things that happen. Literally, like when we hit our 6 figures, everybody was like, here, we hit 6 figures. Oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, great. We got a lot of more stuff to do. And they were like, but it's because a lot of times I've learned it now, but at that time I wasn't super present. I was really high level. I was just looking at the steps. How can we get to the next piece? What does the process look like? And what are the steps necessary for us to get there? Curators. A lot of times what I see with curators, and it's funny because like you have the biggest group, a lot of times curators, they don't want to be curators. They're like, I don't want to be that. Like I want to be like in the forefront. But the thing is like, mood changers are important. People who, if being able to be a mirror for somebody else is extremely important. You guys are going to be able to understand your clients at a very deep level that I won't be able to because you're able to see them and understand them and create the spaces for them to actually make action. You're like, oh, that's me. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now with a curator, what's going to be really important is that you don't mirror your wounds. You mirror your scars. So a lot of times you're like, oh, what's that? So a lot of times when it comes to like people being vulnerable on social media and things like that, a lot of times with curators, they're like, oh, I'm gonna share exactly what happened right now. But the thing is when you share what just happened, it's fresh. So like you're not gonna be able to come from it from a place of growth and advancement. You're gonna come from a place of like, this really hurt and I'm in this really sad place. But because you're a mirror for your clients, they're gonna be like, oh man, I feel bad too. I don't want to feel that way. So you have to make sure that when you're having conversation, you're sharing stories, you're sharing it from a place of a scar and letting people know like, hey, I did do this, but I was able to get over it because of these things. Okay. And we're done. But we have more questions because I want to leave them more for questions. Thank you, guys. It was a class.
So I'm totally jumping in. I'm,
Okay,
the conductor
that's what they do.
of the duo. So first off, before everybody leaves, huge request.
Do you want to do questions first?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
gotta let them know so they don't
Okay.
leave us.
Oh, yeah. Tell them.
Yeah. We're gonna do a group photo. It's gonna be fun.
It will be fun.
It will
So
be fun.
this link will actually take you to my. This is it's a chat bot. It takes you to my Facebook business page, and then you connect with me there, and it's like a whole little sequence.
And do it because this lady does community. Because I just want to say, like, did you think you'd be meeting this many people at this one time, this one session? Because you met a ton of different people in different mindsets. I've been through a ton of sessions, and I love learning, but I didn't have anybody to talk to about it. And now you do. So please, make friends. LinkedIn buddies, Instagram buddies, Twitter,
All the
use these
things.
resources that you just gained by the community she's creating.
Yeah, and I have a lot of free resources and stuff. Like I have quizzes, video series, lead magnets, all types of things. So we can just hang out, just dive in my world. Okay, my favorite part, questions. Yeah, she's coming. Is it? Do I switch?
Thank you. That was fun. So it's starting to settle in terms of how we can relate this to us as individuals. But I'm kind of struggling to then extrapolate that out to once we're talking about our brands.
Yes. So the big thing about understanding how to do it as your brand is understanding those two questions: the impact you want your business to make, and the people that you want your business to serve. When you do that and you actually look at it at that lens, are you the founder? Okay, so a lot of times, you're gonna come out. So you as a curator is probably what your business is gonna end up being as well. So your ideal clients are going to be architects and conductors. So all of these people over here are your clients, and they're gonna love you naturally. So you don't have to change anything or act any different or make any other stuff. Okay. No.
So if you have. I was like, I can't recap that one. That's a good question.
Yeah, so once we have that understanding those two questions, we know what our clients need, right? And what problem we're going to solve for them. It's like in those moments where you had those content strategy pieces, like whether we're going for heart, strategic, etc. It's like in those moments we can dial up or dial down our curator-ness
Yes.
or our architect-ness, because I could see there's within all of us there's all four of those categories.
Yeah, there's
right?
all
So
four,
it's
but there's
just a
one
matter of
that's
what's
that's
natural.
lens. There's one that's your natural lens.
Right. So there's what's natural, but then there's what we need in that moment based on what our customers actually need us to be.
So it's a little bit different about once you are able to understand who you are, who your business is, then you double down on that. So you're like, how can I be as curator as possible? And then from there is who are the natural ideal clients and what are their needs. So you'll know your clients are going to be conductors. So what do the conductors need in terms of being able to create a connection and a relationship and tether to you? What do the architects need to have a connection and tether to you? But you first have to understand how can you first be the best curator yourself, and then from there adding those different facets on top of that for the conductors and the architects.
Because we took the quiz to figure out what we were. Is there a way to get a quiz for our clients? How do we know if our clients are architects?
So
That part.
if you go to mybrandsoulquiz.com, there's a like you can take the quiz again, and it'll ask you to take like the secondary quiz. So they'll ask you to take the curator quiz, and with the curator quiz, it'll drop you down into the actual archetype, and from there, like I have a magazine that actually has a little. It's called a matchmaking It's a matchmaking page on it where it actually tells you who your clients are, who your business partners are, and even like I have who your life partner is. So if you're single, like you're like, literally, my best friend was like, Kira, I need to find all things about creators. I need to find it because I need a man. And I was like, okay, girl, let's do it. Who else has questions? Yeah, my brand so quiz when you take it, and then if you reach out to me, say, hey, Carrie, just like, can you send me the curator quiz? I can just send it to you. I don't know the link though. I just have to find it.
I would highly suggest putting in the quiz. A, then she actually does get your info and you get the newsletters and stuff. But B, because I took it, well, you guys had the written one, I had to take it on the phone. And I was able to see, like, she puts she'll send you PDFs that show, like, hey, you are, like, this is what you have. Maybe when you're doing branding, maybe look at these fonts or these colors. A bit more about your personality, and it just really helps being able to see it written out instead of having to remember it all as text or today verbally. There we go.
It's pretty sweet. And then we did like a I think the magazine is like 31 pages. I got excited. Who else has questions? Yes. She's coming.
I'm getting there. I'll just pass it back this way.
Oh, there you go.
Look at creative. Thanks, everybody. Team effort.
So my question is about kind of branding in general as a startup, because I started our business and you just start going and you create your own brand, and then you get to a point where you have this brand because I love these colors and I love brightness, but is it that relevant? And how do you, I'm feeling like I need to go to someone like you and go, does this brand, am I on point, or have I gone so deep into an understanding that I'm a seeker? Like I try and make so much sense of every color and everything that I use and like the meaning behind it. And will people even get that? So
Yeah, so a lot of times what I tell people is before, like, and I hope you even noticed it with kind of how we did the presentation, there was a lot of stuff that we needed to kind of get through first, understanding who you are, understanding how you think and stuff like that, and then and what narratives you want to tell, and then asking yourself what colors, fonts, and imagery actually create that emotion. So first we need to figure out, do you understand the emotion and the narrative that you want to tell? And then once we have that, then what colors, fonts, and imagery is actually going to speak to that.
because sometimes when you're working alone, and you're creating this, you can go so onto a tangent.
Yeah, you're like, what's my
that
logo?
No one else even understands what the hell you're doing, but you think it's fabulous.
Yeah, like I remember I think one of our first clients, like he teaches people how to do stocks, and he was like, here, I want to do blue in like a random color, and I was like, why? I was like, what are we doing here? And then like we had a conversation, and he was like, oh, I got a lot. It was like I didn't even think about all the stuff that, like, I didn't think about my audience. I was just like, that's my colors. I love those colors, and I'm like, no. I was like, I always like to say it needs to be a perfect balance between what feels really amazing to you, but what also is going to activate and magnetize your clients to you. Questions? Okay, yes.
Thank you. Teamwork. I love it.
Make the dream work.
It really does.
It does.
And that actually comes up to my question of, so I feel like I'm a little bit conductor, I am definitely a hype person, yet definitely a curator because I have a podcast called Shit You Don't Want to Talk About. I share my anxiety attacks online, like 100% real. And I feel like I'm a seeker. Like, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to know everyone and everything, so that way I can, like, tell you about everyone and connect you with everyone. So, I get that we need to, like, level up certain parts of us, and we may have a primary, but what if they all kind of feel primary?
So a lot of times, like, this is a conductor issue, FYI. Most conductors have this issue. They're like, I want to do it all.
It's true. I do.
But the thing about it is you want to have a primary because a lot of times when you want to, like, you can't be for everybody. So the moment that you have to be for yourself. You have to actually look within and say, what truly feels good to me? What lens do I truly look out of when I make decisions? And then from there, asking yourself, who do the people that I truly want to serve? Because the thing is, like, I don't want to have to change for anybody. I always tell people, like, I love speaking, but I know, like, my clients could be there and they cannot be there, because my clients will hear something, they'll see something, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's my girl, and stuff like that. And I don't try to be anybody else. I'm the joker. I crack jokes. I do all the things. I get dressed. And
I'm glad you get dressed. That could
Yeah,
I don't want you to get arrested for not getting dressed.
I get dressed. I kind of pop some collars and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, that's who I am, and I'm 100% myself. Why? Because you don't want to be the person that I was at the beginning, where you have this internal discord of the person that you want to be inside, and the person that everybody wants you to be. So you have to always double down on yourself. Now, I always tell people that there is a secondary archetype, and this is where you'll go when you take your curator quizzes, whatever quizzes you take. There is a secondary archetype, but that archetype is made by the decisions and experience that you had in your life. So for me, technically, I'm a architect conductor. But the reason why I have the conductor energy in me is because I've been through experiences where I know that I have to push people into action. I can't just give people a vision. I knew I need to do some pushing. But it took that experience for me to do that. But that's not my natural state. Okay. Bobby. I told you, I literally gave y'all reasons that I was going to call people out. Didn't I say that? At the
You
beginning.
did. She
I
did.
said, fair warning, I will call people out to ask questions.
God. Okay. What? Oh, you want me to ask you a question?
Yeah, what you got? This is where I shine. That's what people
Okay.
say.
So I guess for us conductors,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think is a good first step for building some brand aesthetic and picking, color palettes and stuff like that? How would you address that?
So what's going to be really important for conductors is to not go fast. So one of the things about conductors is they like to check off boxes. They like to be like, I did all the things. But then they don't realize the journey that they went down, and they're like, but I did all the things, so why isn't it working? So really sit back and ask yourself, what is the impact that I want to make? Who are the people that I truly want to serve? And sit in that and really answer it authentically. And then from there, determine what narrative that you want to tell, and then what color, response, and imagery are going to match it. No checking off blocks. Of course. Of course. That's what I love. But yeah, so no checking off the boxes. Because that's like your natural approach. You're like, boom, boom, bam, I'm done. Don't do that. You're like, is she calling me out? Like, don't be calling me out like that. Okay, so for seekers, what's going to be really important for you guys when it comes to you building your brand is going to be really allowing yourself to sit with it. So I'll be honest, a lot of it's the same. But for you guys, sit with it at a point of take 24 hours and be like, because you guys will take a week. Y'all will take a week. Y'all be like, I've been thinking about, like, literally I have a client, her name is Eilish. She lives in Ireland. She's Eilish from Ireland isn't the cutest. But she literally, like, we were doing some work and she was like, here, I'm going to sit with the fact that I'm an explorer. And I'm like, cool. And then, like, she comes back like 2 minutes later, okay, I digested everything, I'm ready. And I'm like, girl, like, we could have been done. Like, we could have been done. So give yourself a time frame and sit with what you want to do. Now, it's going to be really important for you guys because y'all do have a lot of resources and things. Like, you want to make sure that you really control, like, the energy that you give out to people. Like, the people that come and ask you for stuff, make sure that it's truly aligned with who you are and what you truly believe in. Because, like, you guys literally are, like, the compass to life. So you want to make sure also for you guys, it doesn't have to be a linear journey. People probably have told you that it had to be. It doesn't have to be. I've just given you guys permission, okay? Okay, so curators, what's going to be really important for you guys is to be yourself. Like, what feels truly natural to you guys. People have probably told you that, like, oh, you need to be in the forefront. You need to do all the things. And, like, if it doesn't feel right, guess what? You don't have to do it. Like, you don't have to do it. So because, like, a lot of times with curators, they look at, like, conductors and, like, architecture, like, oh, my gosh, they do all this stuff. Like, I need to do all this stuff. Guess what? You don't have to. Like literally, like the gifts that you guys have, being able to be mirrors for people is really powerful. Like you literally like y'all are powerful people. But you have to stand in it and be able to be mirrors. Being able to understand what your stories are, what your business stories are, what's your mission, and why you're doing it is going to be really important for you guys to be able to build your business out. Any other question? Any other archetypy questions? This makes me happy. Yes.
So I'm a little.
Okay, let's take the photo. Bye. Okay.
So my question is, you're kind of telling us all these archetypes and everything based on our relation with the client, like
Yeah.
the target audience. So I'm curious on the next level when we're trying to grow our team. Is there a certain archetype that we need to focus on hiring first in order to help us? Or is it just kind of building out your team and getting each one?
So I
right
would say
away?
for conductors, I would say I would hire a architect because a lot of times, like, cause like big picture thinker, because you guys like the details, you want somebody who's thinking really big. That's the first person you want to get, and then from there, hire somebody that's like to crack the whip. And then I would go for a seekers. Are you gonna do the picture now?
Yeah, because everybody's leaving.
I know.
All right, so everybody come up here. We're gonna group up together and take a picture, and Carrie will be around to ask more questions afterwards. So don't think we're cutting Q&A short. We're just moving it.